worked me up a little bit in a lot of ways. And I'm sharing this with everybody right now because this one, I shared this with you guys last week. And I had a lot of thoughts on it. So Francis Ford Coppola says that Megalopolis isn't woke. He features actors in it who were canceled, and particularly Shiloh Buff and John Voight. Is that how you say his name? John Voight? Or is it
John Voight.
Or Voight. John Voight. And I just want to say, too, when you click on John Voight's name in this article, it pops up a couple things, because he says that, John Voight, he has conservative views, because he's controversial. You click on this link and it goes to an article that says John Voight claims daughter Angelina Jolie has been influenced by anti-Semitic people over Israel Hamas stance. So it's like this dude can't even keep his foot out of the news cycle, I guess, at all. And let's be honest, dude, the guy's creepy. I remember him from Anaconda, man, and I feel like Anaconda, as sad as that's really him.
Anaconda, his horrible South African accent.
his role in Anaconda is really how he is in real life. Little babies.
Little babies.
Well, how do we get them off the boat?
Come on, babies. Come on, thank you, Mama. Come on.
But anyway, and then of course he has Shiloh Buff, who's of course accused of abuse with his former girlfriend singer Twigs, of relentless abuse. But I also want to say who's a fucking maniac to work with. Yeah, because has reports of drinking heavily on set. He punched Brad Pitt apparently. Just basically. Shiloh Buff's considered I guess a very hard to work with, eccentric person, so to say. But that didn't stop Francis Ford Coppola from casting him in this movie Megalopolis, which is apparently a retelling of Caesar in modern time, which sounds interesting. But of course, he had to point out that this movie's not going to be woke. But you know what, guys, that that really kind of bothered me, because we've talked about this a lot. That movies have always kind of, in the sense, been woke. In a sense, you had all the laws back then that said movies couldn't, they always had to do where the good guys would prevail. Cops would always, have to win. And then for a while that was gone there, but they've always stuck to this script of that it has to be this way. I had a big problem when I heard that, because I'm thinking to myself, for Francis Ford Coppola, who's such a legend at movies and stuff like that, it's why are you saying this kind of shit? Because it's you're almost discrediting your film in a way, or you're trying to reach a new perspective audience that doesn't fucking care about you anyway, and that they'll always think you're a Hollywood elite and everything like that. It really got to me, because I wouldn't cast oh god, help me out, guys, the guy from Cable I love, I wouldn't cast Kevin Spacey because I didn't want my movie to be woke. I cast him because he's a good actor. Regardless of what you think of his controversies, the film should speak for itself, along with his performance. Now, we've talked about this, that you don't have to like the person. You can still enjoy the films, but if you don't like the person in general, then that's okay too. But I just feel like this is such a stupid fucking thing to do. And it's not even so much angry. It's just stupid. It's what are you trying to say? It's no one. I don't care about that. Even if you told me it was anybody else, I still wouldn't give a shit about their views. But I don't know. I want to get your guys' take on this. I just feel like it's so dumb.
I have
to put this on a film.
I have exactly what our co-host Luke had to say off air. I had a perfect quote for it. He was it's just like an old man screaming at clouds. The dude's got his own wine business, making another movie, and now he's just doing this. And I don't get it.
No one gives a shit who sees your movies. It's I'm going to see Francis Ford Coppola movie because of who he is, not because he's not a woke kind of guy. When I go see Francis Ford Coppola, I'm not getting the liberal left in the ass.
Yeah,
right. I don't know, man.
Luke, what do you?
Yeah,
go ahead. Steve, sorry.
My first thought is, does Ford Coppola, does Coppola think that being canceled is is entirely across the board? Do you think that that someone who perhaps is getting less work because of their conservative views is the same thing as people not wanting to work because they are actually abusive. Like, do you think it is, what planet do you think on that not having an abuser on your set is woke? It's again, I think it's just a stupid buzzword. And, Coppola, like, we didn't even get to the fact that there was that trailer that they came out with, that they took down, that that was trying to sort of get ahead of the bad reviews that Megalopolis had been getting, because it got a very mixed reaction at Cannes when it came out. And so the reviews are kind of all over the place just because of the time, and that makes sense. But like, they came out with that trailer that had these quotes of like his older movies that also got bad reviews, to kind of say that like, critics have not liked Coppola before, but time has proven them correct. Time has proven them wrong. And all of the quotes were wrong because they probably pulled them from AI. I just think, that all he is saying is just a buzzword. I think he's like, we don't want to be woke. We didn't,
I just think it's so
which
stupid.
I think is a meaningless term. And I don't think there's anything, and I don't think he has genuinely said anything to suggest that like he understands that either way. Because because John Voight hasn't been in a lot of films that are conservative, but he's been in movies. He was in the National Treasure series too. And Shia LaBeouf didn't get work because he's a fucking maniac. It's not woke to say that Shia LaBeouf is a maniac and you don't want him in your movies. I mean, this also speaks to another point that doesn't get talked about a lot. That like Coppola does this before. He sort of bankrolled and supported Victor Salva after he got out of jail. If you guys know, Victor Salva, the director of Powder, the director of Jeepers Creepers, also a convicted child molester. And Coppola got him his career back after he went to jail for child molestation. Coppola was like, you know what? Let's give this guy another chance.
But
he did not have to do that. Like, he stuck his nose out to do it.
Why would you why would you go out on a limb for that guy? Like, it's one thing to be like, well, we made the movie with him, this came out, we just got to go through with the movie, because we believe in the product. It's like, after the fact, you don't have to talk to this guy ever again. I
want to harm back to real quick. The people though who are going to look at this in the perspective of being like, oh, Francis Ford Coppola is doing something. He's fighting wokeism, because we got a lot of shit for that from talking about Jerry Seinfeld about that.
Yeah.
But, I keep talking about this, and I want to talk about it again real quick. The Hays Code, which was created, and a lot of people don't know this. The Hays Code, for all those people who like harping back to the time of the 1930s and 50s when they were like, movies weren't woke then, movies could do whatever they want. Bullshit. Because this code, the Hays Code, said that movies had to depict things such as basically the bad guys being punished or any kind of anti-hero being punished. The cops always had to look good. There always had to be a happy ending. So anybody who's going to harpen back on that argument saying Francis Ford Coppola is going somewhere, you're just entirely fucking wrong. I just want to just point that out. Sorry.
Right. No, but that's true, because Francis Ford Coppola is like, come on, the man's 83 years old. He was born in the 30s. He's old Hollywood, right? Considered. Yeah. So like this guy he doesn't give a shit about like your past. You really think he's looking at that guy like, molestation charges? Oh, fuck it. Bring him back. He's a talent. They think like that. And you're just not going to crack this dude who, again, he's like one of these guys as well. He makes great movies. He's made great movies, but one of his biggest stinkers, obviously The Godfather 3, he came back because he's like, I just, I needed money. So why not make it? Put my daughter in it. He's like one of those guys.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. This one just kind of got me worked up, because I was just like, why would you do that? It's like, I'm gonna cast all my actors to be anti-woke. It's anti-woke. Like, so more people are gonna come fucking see it. It's like, what?
I think like Jerry Seinfeld and like other actors, I think Terry Gilliam had a similar sentiment. It doesn't. What it really comes off is that all they have sort of hovered around is the idea of woke being change. That's really like
right. That's all it is.
The changes in modern filmmaking, the changes in perception, the changes in taste and in sensibilities from when they were in their heyday, the 90s, 70s, etc., to now. Things change. That's you know. Now, obviously, it's one thing to dislike certain changes and whatnot, but just to be sort of having a blanket hatred of all change is, you know, it stinks of irrelevancy, frankly. So again, I think he is just trying to whip up attention for clicks, for views, because again, I don't think Megalopolis is going to do very well. I'm going to see it. I'm excited to see it.
I'm going to see it.
I'm
sure it's probably going to be great. Like, I don't think it's actually, I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to be great. I think Coppola
they
has
say it'd be the greatest thing in the world.
Like, what was the last actually good film of Coppola? Like, his last couple films was like Godfather 3, and then also the Dracula that had Keanu Reeves and Jack. And then he stopped.
Jack, oh my God.
That's actually.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if Coppola has it. And especially this, which, you know, was, you know, he did it all himself, financed it all himself. He didn't have any outside interference, which always suggests that, like, you know, he had nobody to tell him no. So what kind of film do you think is? I think if nothing else, it will be the film he made, which is important. So it doesn't spell confidence for me, but we'll see.
Yeah, but you're right. That was a key factor right there, Luke, that you said. Like, it's gonna be a film that he makes. You know, it's like a him film. Yeah. So I mean, hey, hats off to him for doing it. But man,
it's funny because I can't see. Oh, okay. Twix, it looks like, was the last movie he did.
I don't know what.
Twix. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, you know, he had the Godfather one. He did that was Death of Michael, and then Twix.
Oh, Death of
yeah.
He came out with the director's cut of Godfather 3.
He did.
And as far as I know, and from all accounts of all the critics who saw it, they said it didn't change anything. It doesn't, you know, it was his...
You're talking about the guy who did fucking Supernova, bro. How dare you say that?
It was the Snyder cut. You know, functionally...
We gotta get the Coppola cut.
Huh?
The Coppola cut.
We gotta get the Coppola cut.
But listen, if there's a Snyder cut of Megalopolis, then I'll watch that. I think.
Slow-mo.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. I don't know. It's like, because the whole time I'm gonna be watching, I'm not gonna be thinking, man, I really hate John Voight because of his whole conservative views.
Right. I'm just gonna be like, there's John Voight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Right.
All right, everybody. So that's been this installment of the Sharks podcast. I'm your host, Rob, with his co-host Luke and Steve.
Yo.
Saying we will catch you on the flip side from 20,000 Leagues in the Sea. Make sure you catch us live on YouTube and Pod Nation TV and wherever podcasts are broadcast. So listen, like, and subscribe, please, and thank you, and have a good night.